What's good, everybody? Happy Monday evening. Hope all is well. Do me a favor out the gate, off the rip. Hit that like button, that little thumbs up you see. Smash it, kick it, punch it, whatever you got to do. And also subscribe. Listen, we are zooming towards our next goal for subscriptions. We're like right there. Please do me a favor. If you have not subscribed, do that now. Share the video on your page or social medias. Also, Apple Podcasts. For those who prefer podcasts, please subscribe to the podcast. Listen, we got a great show tonight. We have a great guest. We've been looking forward to getting this brother on the show. It is Ohio's Tate from Barstool. The Portnoy killer himself is here in the building, and we're looking forward to it. We're also going to talk about the team up north and their continuous scandals, plural, and we're going to get into that. So listen, without further ado, we're going to hop right into it. Nevada Buck and Tate, what's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
Doing great, man.
I'm fired up to be here, boys. A lot of good stuff to talk about, and a lot of bad stuff for the team up north. So that excites me.
Yeah, for sure. Real quick question out the gate. Listen, I got a chance to meet you in person at the Wisconsin game, okay, which was dope. I wanted to get a nice fanboy pic with Tate, but he disappeared into the crowd, and it didn't happen. So with that said, I got a chance to stand in front of you. My question for you is, because I've seen reels and IGs about this, how short is Dave Portnoy?
Oh, that's a tough
for real.
One.
Is he a dinky dude? Because you're not a small dude, and I'm tall. Is he a small dude?
He's not tall. I mean, you saw the milk crate pictures. He's not tall, but I will say he's not. I'm not going to give him credit, but I'm not going to say he's substantially. Like, it wouldn't be something you noticed when he came in the room. It's something that people
not Kevin Hart or nothing like that.
Yeah, people knock him for it, but it's really nothing that out of the ordinary that you would point out.
Got you, Nevada. What you got for Tate?
Well, I just got to say, like, I wasn't familiar with your work. I got to be honest with you. I wasn't that familiar with your work. And after we kind of had our little brief 5-minute little interlude before the Michigan game, I went and watched your stuff. Dude, you're very funny. You're very fun. You're a very funny dude. And I got to tell for anybody listening, if you're not following Tate, you're missing out, because the stuff is really, really clever, and it appeals to my type of sense of humor, my sensibility. Yeah. So I feel like the guy that just discovered fire or the wheel or something like that, because I'm like, man, now I'm following you on Instagram and I'm doing something like that. But yeah, really funny stuff, and was really excited that you're going to be on the show. So excited about the show for sure.
Yeah, I love this, boys. I like listening to you guys, so thank you very much. Nevada, correct me if I'm wrong. Our introduction, we were both spot on with that Michigan game.
But yeah, I mean, I was really, I had a lot of confidence in terms of the way that the game was going to go, the way that the game was going to play out. I thought that for the Buckeyes, we were just better. Underwood was very underwhelming, and I thought the game went exactly the way that we thought it was going to, and that obviously for a guy that vowed to walk from Ann Arbor to Columbus, carrying third base in the dead of winter, you had a level of confidence that might even been above my own, because there's like I don't even like walking to the car in the dead of winter. I'm not walking. How far was that going to be? Because you had to like map that out, right?
It was going to be 214 miles avoiding highway. Something funny about that though. So not that I thought we were going to lose, but I had my third base was ready, because I didn't want to say we lose the game. I didn't want to have to go find a Dick's Sporting Goods. So we're walking into the game in the big house, and I can't believe it. Their parking spots are labeled. It'll say like reserved parking, Dusty May, reserved parking, Sharon Moore. And we were contemplating leaving third base there for Sharon the following morning, but I'm not sure he would have got it.
That is hilarious.
We were going to make a video on that, but we decided otherwise.
No, that's great, man. And real quick, I forgot to mention, in haste, trying to get our guest on, when you send those wonderful super chats, remember, it helps to go towards the Pay It Forward, which is our military and our first responders. We're going to look out for them, because they always look out for us. And if you guys got questions, get them in, so we can get to them when we get to the super chats. But I had a question for you, Tate. Mm-hmm. And well, first of all, before I get into that, yes, I agree. His content is phenomenal. my type of humor. It's funny, my dude in one of my chats, he was talking about you. He was like, man, he's like, you know what I like about him? He's so condescending to the Michigan fans, and that's a good thing. I was like, yes, I love the condescension. Like,
I appreciate that.
It's hilarious because they deserve it. They've earned it. And honestly, they make it easy for us, to just hit them with stuff because they put it on a silver platter for you.
Yeah, I mean, if my business is to talk about the pros of the Buckeyes and the negatives of the team up north, business is booming right now. We're the defending national champs. We just beat Michigan. There's not a more embarrassing athletics program in the country right now than the University of Michigan. I've got another video coming out later tonight, and it's just, did you guys see the Lansing State Journal today just detail every scandal under Ward Manuel? I can talk about this for days. They're just giving us content to talk about.
No, have you never? I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I saw. It was like a whole page thing. It was like it was a gigantic article. And now you got to spend time with Justin Spiro up in Ann Arbor. Now, that was your first time meeting him in person?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so we want your takes on Justin, because obviously we know Justin, friend of the show. Would you say that Justin's a smart guy and a serious guy when it comes to this stuff?
I'll tell you this. So that was the first time I had ever heard of the Sharon, about what was possibly coming down on Sharon. And so we show up, and Justin, he was an incredible host. He was great to me and my friends, took me to the game. Everything was great about that. But he was telling us, he's like, I'm telling you guys, this is coming. And I broke this and I broke this and I broke this. And I'm telling you guys, it's coming. And I was familiar with Justin's work. So I wouldn't say none of me was saying like, there's no way this is going on. But I was also with a bunch of my friends that had no clue who he was. And they're like, this guy is so far out in left field with what he's saying that it was just a hilarious. It still goes in our group chat today. Like our group text is like, if Justin Spiro says it, it's a fact. I only listen to one person reporting news, and it's Justin Spiro, because he told my buddies, my college buddies, exactly what was going to happen. And then what was it? A week and a couple days later that it came out exactly as he said. So when he throws these spaces, my buddies are listening right now.
So when Justin comes out and talk, because we want to talk about a specific one, we want to talk about one that we're all kind of familiar with, but when he talks about this BC2 LLC and the Corum collaboration with Stallions, and he's going in, and him and Pablo Torre are apparently going to be collaborating on a big investigative piece on this. If you were Michigan, what would be your concern level on a scale of 1 to 10 that Justin Spiro and Pablo Torre and this story were in their sights, and that Justin believes, saying that he has the goods? How concerned would you be?
Someone posted it, but it's the gif of Kobe and Shaq in their prime, like looking like they're like, hey, I know you can't stop us, and you still got to play us. That's what I feel like when I see Spiro and Pablo teaming up. Like if I was doing something wrong, and I don't know much about it. What's that?
Sorry, go ahead. That was a video.
I was just going to say, I don't have the facts, and I'm not going to pretend to. I'm just as interested as the rest of the Buckeyes, but I know that if I did something wrong, or even if I didn't, the two people that I wouldn't want coming after me right now are number one, Justin Spiro, and number two, Pablo Torre. And to see that they could be working together, I haven't had butterflies like that in years.
No, look, I feel the same way. And this story, it's like the one thing that could sink them. And it's the one thing that could finally, because, the NCAA obviously dropped the ball on this failure to monitor aggravated level 1, Stallions thing. And that's fine. They wanted to go with the fine. They didn't want to affect the kids, whatever. Mm-hmm. But the one thing they seem to have sunk their teeth into as of late has been these ineligible player things. Like, if a player's ineligible, that seems to be something that interests them. And, if Corum was ineligible, how do they keep that Natty? How does that stay there?
He has Pablo and Spiro have the opportunity to become heroes in the
Oh, yeah.
Ohio State fan base. Like you guys all know how it is. We all know that it was BS. We all know that, something shady was going on, but clearly and unfortunately, the NCAA, you can say they didn't want to affect the current players. I don't know what the reason was, if they didn't want to just tarnish the brand completely, but they let them keep their Natty because they said they didn't have any ineligible players. My question is to Spiro, if Spiro can prove it, and him teaming up with Pablo is a huge deal, because it's one thing if the three of us are hooting and hollering about it. It's another thing if Spiro's hooting and hollering about it. Pablo Torre is on a different level than all of us with in terms of notoriety. So if he joins in and they can prove it, how does the NCAA have to respond if someone as big as Pablo Torre is talking about? I would hope so.
Yeah, and one other thing I want to add to that is, as far as credibility goes, Intrinsic and my guy Daniel Novak. Shout out to Daniel Novak. He's a great dude. He finds some gems. The Uncle T dude. You've heard of the Uncle T dude, right?
Yep.
Okay. So Uncle T, there's documentation, screenshots of him reaching out to Pablo to try to get him to jump on the fake Joey Velasquez story. I can pull that up on Twitter now.
Okay.
So just for you Michigan fans and you hate watchers out there, Pablo, well, your boy Uncle T shot his shot with him with no response, by the way. He curved him to try to get him to jump on a fake Joey Velasquez story. So this dude is legit. Like, I just got hip to him, digging into him. He is legit. And I want to show this real quick. Justin Spiro with the LLCs, he has the ability to be Thanos and snap that fake Natty away. Let's go, fellas. Let's do it.
Oh man, I can't. I don't know. I don't know what happens if they prove it. Like the NCAA realistically seems like they've shut the book on it. But I just know that those two, I wouldn't want them on my case. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Agree. Nevada?
Yeah,
what you got on that?
It's funny because with Justin, Justin's just he's so careful, and he's such a cautious guy and such a measured guy. And I've gotten to know him pretty good in terms of just I can kind of tell his operational tempo, and his operational tempo as of late has absolutely picked up on this story. And so for a while there it was kind of laying dormant, and we talked about it, and I wasn't really getting much back from him on it. But as of late, man, he has been laser focused, and he's like a dog on a bone right now. And I just have a feeling we're going to hear more about this BC2 LLC. But, the story, you don't have to have been a rocket scientist, to have followed this story and just watch Blake Corum's reaction when they supposedly let him know that Stallions had put him onto this LLC. And he was kind of laughing about, I'll talk to my lawyers and we'll get our names taken off of that one. Like, dude, you just got told you're ineligible and you're going to cost your team the national championship, and you're just yucking it up like it's some big yuck fest for you there. I mean, who reacts that way? I mean, Tate, they told you were on some bogus LLC, and you're supposed, would you be like yucking it up, or would it bother you at some level?
The whole thing doesn't make sense, and I hate that we have pinpointed and zeroed in on this part of the story when, in all reality, of all the things that Michigan has done, of which there are many and many scandals and many problems, this one, if we're being honest, doesn't affect the score on the field. Like whether Blake Corum is on an LLC talking about refurbished vacuums or not, that doesn't impact the scores of games like the advanced scouting would have, like being on the sidelines would have, like all those things would have. But if the NCAA doesn't want to do anything about those game score, career, championship altering situations, they have made it very clear that if this is the funny business, this is the type of thing that could get it taken away. And I just think that's almost poetic justice, how funny it is that the thing that could bring them down is not really the thing that helped them on the field. It just shows how corny and silly the entire operation, especially with the NCAA's handling it, was.
Like Al Capone getting taken down for tax evasion.
That's a perfect example. Because at the end of the day, I'm not sitting here whining and crying about the vacuum refurbished business. I think it's BS what they did to cheat on the field, but this is what's going to take them down, especially with Sherlock Holmes on the case.
Well, it's kind of funny because, I've often thought that because there's like 17 scandals. I can't keep all the scandals straight with Michigan, and this is probably 16th out of the 17. I mean, it might even be 17. I mean, it's pretty low down in the thing, but it is funny what things seem to resonate with. I think it's because the rules for the NCAA just seem so black and white on this issue. An eligible player will take away the wins or whatever it is. Now I've lost all faith in the NCAA, but I'm just here for the spectacle. I'm just here for the embarrassment. The fact that Michigan now is the punchline on cold openings for Saturday Night Live and stuff like that. I mean,
Yeah.
I love every minute of that. And it's not like we haven't been saying this stuff because Tate, I don't know if you know this, but B and I we've been going on this stuff for much. We've been talking about all these scandals, and now it's just coming out. Like now all this stuff's coming out. We're like, man, we've been talking about we feel like the person that predicted the future way in advance, but like nobody knew what we were talking about. But now everybody's like, wow, maybe you guys were onto something. Maybe it's the most corrupt program in all of sports.
Yeah, you guys lead the league in talking about the scandal, and you guys have been at the forefront from the beginning. So do you guys have your victory laps ready at any time? Like when you're dealing with I feel like you should already be taking them at the point where Michigan is already just has a black eye on their program. But I don't know, this even the Sharon thing like could have dropped at any time. I'm just waiting for more and more and more to come out on each of the. I can't wait. Are these two for sure working together? Have you guys confirmed that?
Yeah, I mean, talking. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. No, you go first, B.
No, I was gonna say. I mean, I haven't talked to Spiro since I've just played that clip for y'all on his Twitter.
Yep.
Right, of him and Pablo. There's actual interaction of them of confirming. Intrinsic has seemed to confirm it as well. So it seems like it's real, like for real. And if it is, like you said, it's just crazy, Tate, because these Michigan fans on social media, they keep mocking and scoffing Justin Spiro after his 500th victory over them. They're still mocking and scoffing, and now they're forming this alliance. It's just like y'all should be afraid.
And I asked Spiro, I said, like, hey, I wasn't too familiar with everything. I said, have you ever been wrong? Because it seems like everything. And he said what Nevada said. He said when he truly, like, yeah, you're wrong about maybe predictions or you're wrong about, coaching searches or whatever that may be. But when he gives you something and he says this is what he has not been wrong. So he seems, I don't know anything about it. It seems from a distance that he seems to know more than what he's giving off. And that's where his confidence has come from. So I'm excited to watch it unfold. Because here's the thing. He was also getting mocked with the Sharon thing weeks before this came out too. And now he hit the literal nail on the head. I don't think he had one misstep the entire time about what Sharon was doing.
Or he didn't. I mean, look, he's the guy that broke Stallions, was on the sidelines.
Yeah.
That's like, I mean, and that was met with wide, scoffing. That doesn't even look like him. That's not even his face. That he doesn't have the mustache. He's the one who broke the story about Sharon Moore deleting the texts in the first place. So, I mean, he's a really, really careful guy. And when it comes to this stuff, I just think that what's going to be interesting about this is, what does he have? You know what I'm saying? Like what does he have? What has led him to believe that he knows and can prove that Corum's in on this? And the fact, and we've got a lot of circumstantial evidence. We've got the fact that Stallions either committed a felony or Corum knew. There isn't a third door to go down. You know what I'm saying? But he seems to have something that secures the two of them together in that business. Without question, unquestionably incontrovertible. And I'm for the life of me, I can't figure out what it is. And he has not shared with me what it is. But again, if I'm Michigan, man, I am very concerned. And the Michigan fans keep antagonizing him. They keep going at him, going at his family. He's had notes left at his house, like those creepy, like kidnapping notes where like the letters are cut out of a magazine and stuff like that. So the Michigan fans just keep pissing him off, and he's just going to go after them gun blazing, and I'm here for it.
Well, I'll say this. I've seen a little bit of this on the internet. I think that they should sue Spiro. I think they should sue him, and I think they should take him to court. And my gut tells me that that'll end up really well in the discovery phase for them too. So I think you got to challenge what Spiro's saying in a judicial way.
Yeah, I want whatever needs to happen to trigger the apocalypse for the cheaters up north is what I want, period. And so I wanted to ask you, not to get off of this, but kind of partner with this with Portnoy. All right. So I want to bring this up. I want to get your thoughts on this because, again, you got this LLC. You got so many fires, scandals, fires just everywhere. You're just trying to put them out. You got a freaking coaching search, a law firm investigating so they can fire the AD. You're trying to hire a coach. You keep striking out. I want to get your thoughts on these comments from Portnoy. I'm about to share my screen right now. All right, give me a second. It's with the Brandon cat, the other Brandon.
Yep.
So here we go.
In the face or whatever. Well, I agree with that. I think we need a flush. And it may not be Ward's fault. I'm not going to say Ward Manuel's fault. It may not be his fault that some of these guys turned bad. I mean, is it his fault Juwan Howard punched a guy in the face or whatever he did in the handshake? I don't think so. But you got to, if you want to hire a guy, that guy you're hiring has to know you're there. He's the back, a working relationship. Like, I don't think any great coach is ever going to take a job if they don't even know if the AD is going to be there. And we don't know if the AD is going to be there. We don't know if the president's going to be there. So just give it to the donor. Give it to Larry Ellison. Give it to me. I'll go close Dillingham. I'll get Dillingham on a silver platter in 48 hours if you give me the resources. I'll go get anybody in the living room. But you have all these people fighting for power. It makes sense you're not going to get a coach until that's figured out. Am I the only Michigan man in here who realizes that? You have to cede power. You have to move forward with somebody else. Give somebody the authority. I think it should be Larry Ellison. I say, hey, Larry, this is your program. Treat it like a professional sports team. Everything goes through you. Right now, I don't know who it goes through.
Your thoughts, my good sir?
Yeah, well, first of all, I think it's pretty obvious that anyone can see why this investigation is going down, and they're going to end it with the firing of Ward Manuel. Yeah. So, like, for example, Dave's first take of, like, is it Ward's fault that Juwan Howard slapped Wisconsin's coach? No. But in the true Michigan man way, let's think about what happened after that. He starts a fight in the handshake line. He gets suspended for 5 games. They let him come back the next year. He goes 8-24. Then they fire him. It reminds me so much of this Sharon Moore situation, which you know damn well that if Sharon Moore would have beaten Ohio State, if Sharon Moore would have made the playoff, I don't think that Sharon Moore is arrested and out of a job at this very second. I think they were looking for a reason to get rid of a coach that they clearly didn't think was the guy. And so that's my first thing with the Ward. But it's clear as day what's going to come out of this investigation, and that's going to be that they're going to determine that they need a new athletic director. With that being said, I do somewhat side with what Dave's saying in a positive light for Ohio State, though. Right now, the investigation is going on. They've got an athletic director that's more likely than not going to get fired from this. And when you're looking at coaching candidates, why would you go to a program that you don't have a boss, you have an interim president, you don't know what the Pablo Torres and the Spiros of the world are going to come down with evidence-wise? You've got all of these scandals and allegations. Don't get me wrong, Michigan is a big brand, and they've got a bunch of money to deal with, so that makes it, in turn, a good football job. But the more turmoil right now that they have, the less established and good like Kalen DeBoer, I don't think is going to Michigan, not simply because he's at Alabama, but also because there's so many question marks surrounding Michigan. So why would you make that jump when you already have an Alabama? Kenny Dillingham's another great example. I think that if all things considered, this Michigan job was open and there was no scandals around it, and he knew who his AD was, and he knew who his president was, and he was comfortable with all that, yeah, Kenny Dillingham would go from Arizona State to Michigan. Sure. But none of those things are true right now, so that's why they're going to get stuck with not their first, second, or third option.
Yeah, Nevada, what you got on that?
Well, I got a question on that, okay? let's talk about the not what it could be, but the reallies right now, which is interim president, AD on his way out. We all know that. He's dead man walking. He's gone. Scandal riff program right now. Depleted roster. I mean, look at that roster right now, Tate. How many players on that roster? I give you the golden ticket, and I say, okay, Tate, you can go grab players from the Michigan roster and put them on Ohio State's roster right now. How many players would you pull off that roster to take to Ohio State right now?
It wouldn't be many. It would be more just to deplete them more instead of needs that Ohio State has that they have.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you're dealing with. So that leads me to my question. Mm-hmm. How good of a job is it really? I mean, is it better than Washington? Not to me. Not right now. Not to me. I'm not talking about Fielding Yost time or something like that. I'm talking about right now. When you're playing Wesleyan Dental College and other things. I'm talking about right now in 2025. I'm not convinced it's a better job than Washington. I'm just not convinced.
It's an interesting point, and I liked how you said it with the reallies, not the what it could be, because I just listed a million reasons why it should be a better job, but it's not right now. Right. With that being said, the one thing that Michigan does have, I don't know why they're getting this pass, like it's just a hard restart for whoever goes there. Like this baggage and this turmoil is going to be around for whatever coach takes over too. The one thing I wish they didn't have is this Larry Ellison cat. What's he on? He's on his what is it, sixth wife right now? We need him to find, a seventh. So, and she needs to be a fan of, I don't know, croquet somewhere or a professional baseball team. Because if they didn't have Larry Ellison, he is something that if he's really willing to contribute as much money as it needs to make them successful, that is appealing that not all schools have. And we just need him to sever that tie because then they are in huge trouble.
But I think, first of all, Mr. T, Uncle T, Rocket T, whatever his name is, has said he's indicated that Larry Ellison has pulled back from funding. We don't know if that's true, but he has stated that. Secondly, if Larry Ellison's funding, man, their recruiting is sure sucking for having Larry Ellison, on the thing. So I'm not quite sure how open the spigot is with Larry Ellison right now. I'm just telling you. I think he's a name, and he's there, and obviously, fabulously wealthy guy. I'm not convinced that it's there because if he was there, why are they 14th in recruiting this year? Riddle me that.
And it's a valid point. And also, I think Urban said it, when they got Underwood, you can have a $20 million roster, but you got to be paying the right guys or else it doesn't matter.
Right.
So money, don't get me wrong, money is an important resource. But I don't think who they've had at the helm, you could just tell Sharon wasn't the guy. So it all comes down to who this next guy is. I don't know. Are you guys – I'm taking it as face value what Kalen DeBoer is saying. I don't think Kalen DeBoer is your next coach at Michigan. I'm not 100% confident that it's not Kenny Dillingham yet is where I'm at.
Yeah, well, we've got information. It's not Kalen DeBoer.
Yeah.
For me, obviously you've got Dillingham, you've got Fish. I'm gonna spin the wheel of awful, and I'm just gonna go out there and I'm gonna throw it to B. Moses after this. But I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna fall. It's gonna be Biff Poggi. I'm just telling you. I think they're gonna strike out on Fish. They're gonna strike out on Dillingham, and DeBoer's off the table. He's gone. It's going to be Biff Poggi.
Nevada, I owe you a dinner if Biff Poggi is the coach, and that'll be my Christmas present to you because that'd be a Christmas present to me. If I said it to Big Cat yesterday. Where I'm at is this. I think, and I do have a couple people that have been. I will say Dillingham is close to Barstool, so he is a little more in the talks of people that I talk to on a day-to-day basis. Is he doing all of this to up his pay, or if not just his pay, his NIL pool and his assistant coaching pool? Maybe he's using it 100% as leverage. Is he actually interested in coming to Michigan? Maybe. I'm of the belief that so DeBoer's the one, pass. If Dillingham passes, I don't think the phone call makes it past Jed Fish. That would surprise me is if he doesn't make the jump to Michigan. But if they strike out with all three of those, and Biff is the next coach, I'm popping champagne that night, boys.
We all will be popping champagne. And listen, a couple things to add on to what Nevada said about his Poggi prediction. Not only will that happen, Tate, you know what's going to happen. They're going to spin it as he's the perfect. Listen, I already saw it. Listen, fellas, and I say this lightly because I love Jake Butt. Jake Butt, he's the one and only Michigan guy that I could like. He's actually good at what he does. He's already put a tweet out there saying he checks all the boxes. Like the soft trial runs are already floating out there. Michigan, they're going to spin it as if, oh, this is who we needed, a true Michigan man. He understands the program and he's the guy. No, he's not. He's trash. And he was your 5th, 6th, 8th, 9th, 13th pick. But they're going to spin it like it wasn't. So I definitely wanted to point that out. One other thing I wanted to bring up in the chat, Vic Vicious, this comment, the entire sports world besides Michigan fans know that their Natty is a fraud and should be vacated 100%. I'm bringing that out real quick because we talked about earlier about, the possible vacating of the title if Corum is ineligible with the LLCs. Yes, that's the NCAA. That's one thing they're competent at is that. If you're ineligible, okay, then that's when they'll move. But even if that doesn't happen, isn't it so great, Tate, in Nevada, to see that the entire nation, for those who weren't in on what we were already in on, because, Ohio State and Michigan State, only we care. Well, guess what? Everybody else sees it now. And you look at the social media threads, the non-Buckeye, non-Sparty threads, and it's all people from all walks of life calling them cheaters, frauds, and all types of stuff. So to me, that just brings this warmness to my heart because now Sharon Moore's crash out took this to a whole nother level. And listen, I'll say this. Yep. I do feel sorry and sad for his wife and kids. They are victims in this. They are the victims. So this is not me, laughing about them, but Sharon Moore made decisions and consequences come with those decisions. And a secondary, product of this is consequence of this is now the whole world is seeing the frauds that they are. And so just wanted to kind of put that out for everybody.
Yeah, I think anyone with a heart realizes that it stinks for his family. I truly feel that this would be such a better situation to talk about and to make fun at if the second part of that story wasn't what happened. Because everyone wants to point fingers and laugh at Michigan. It stinks for his family. With that being said, my goodness, there's if Spiro and Pablo really, man, I can't even see. I could see them dropping the story. If the NCAA really acts on it and takes it away, that will be the best cherry on top of any dessert I've ever had. But don't get me wrong, boys. This dessert that we're having right now is pretty damn good.
Yes.
Because there's not a person in the college football world, from the talking heads to the commentators to freaking Saturday Night Live, is making fun of Michigan. They used to say, oh, you guys are obsessed with us. You guys are the ones who talk about us. Everyone's talking about you now, how illegitimate it was, and it's only going to get worse. I need this investigation to show to use the Jim Tressel Sports Illustrated, just how deep it went. Because it is this athletic department has become a joke. And Biff, you got me fired up, B, because if Biff is the coach, he's 66 years of age. He's an old white dude that's 66 years of age, and is he gonna be the one to improve their recruiting? He's gonna be the one to get these dudes to come play for Michigan for 2 years? I don't know.
I can't wait.
I mean, we talk about Fish, and again, I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole, but he's got Williams at quarterback and it probably coming back next year. Do you want to leave that guy to coach Fats Underwood? I don't. His 9 touchdowns and 6 interceptions, virtuoso freshman season. There's no way in the world you can't win with that guy. You can't. And next year you got to go to and you take the job as the Ohio State coach, and your sole measure of whether you're successful is beating your rival. And you got to go to Columbus next year and play Julian Sain and J.J. Smith in their final game in the Horseshoe? Are you kidding me? That's what you want to walk into? Dude, you're setting yourself up. No serious coach wants to take that job. I'm telling you, setting himself.
That's an extremely valid point is you can say all you want. This Michigan job can get other coaches paid at their current position. Like Dillingham's a perfect example. He's either walking out of this with a Michigan job or a heck of an extension and a heck of a raise.
Yep.
For you to take this job, you have to go in there and realize that it is going to be all eyes on you. You can't mess up at all because this scandal thing, like I'm not saying the horrible scandals, but I'm saying anything you do is going to be magnifying glass, including that first time that you go to Columbus in year one and play against a pretty damn good Buckeye team that we're going to be favored against this team that should have a decimated roster.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And you're in the program you're up against is the 10,000-pound gorilla. You're not playing against Auburn in the Iron Bowl or Navy or Arizona or Utah. You know what I'm saying? You're playing against Ohio State, who's at the absolute peak of the college football world right now. And that's who you got to beat. I said to B, I said, it's like you're a boxer and you got to fight prime Mike Tyson. And that's the only thing that's going to determine whether or not you're a success or not. You got to go beat Ohio State, and you got to do it in Columbus next year. Good luck with that.
Yeah, definitely good luck. And as I added on the other night, Tate, I got to share this with you. I've been calling Ryan Day. I don't know how old you are if you hip to the movie The Last Dragon, where Bruce Leroy at the end he triumphs and gets the glow and he defeats his foe. Ryan Day got over the mental hump of the cheating scandal that affected that game last year and the coaching. And so not only do they have to play a phenomenal team with Julius Say and J.J. Smith, Chris Henry Jr., freaking another year of Bo Jackson in the weight room, et cetera, et cetera. Now they got Bruce Leroy Ryan Day, who has the glow. He's over the hump mentally. That is over with. They can't get him like that no more. So you got that to deal with. And so, yeah, bro, like it really questions like Jetfish. You would think that's a layup. Nevada, he got me thinking.
Yeah,
it's a fair point. Why would you leave Washington with the talent you have and the situation you have and even the less pressure? I'm not saying they don't have any pressure, Washington fans. I'm not saying you don't have pressure, but it's a different animal. It's just like, it's Poggi time, baby. It's Poggi time.
I hope so. I think it'll come down to the current situation. What will this investigation, bring out? Could it affect the athletic department of the future? Is someone really willing to make this jump without a boss? I wouldn't do that. I would, if I was going to a new company or a new whatever, I would want to know the chain of command and do I work well with them? And I think Michigan's just really kicking themselves in the foot right now, or shooting themselves in the foot by that. That's the one thing I'll say Dave's right about. Not that Larry Ellison or Dave Portnoy should have the hiring power, but someone needs to be able to say, hey, you're going to come work at this school. I'm going to be here. And it seems like the people that are doing that right now can't honestly say that to a Kalen DeBoer or even a Jed Fish.
Yeah, real quick, y'all. Those watching, I hope you're enjoying the content. We got Tate on here finally. Great guest, great dude. What's your IG? What's your socials?
I'm Barstool Tate all around. So Barstool Tate on Twitter. If you want to see the video content, that goes on Instagram and it goes on TikTok as well, at Barstool Tate.
Make sure y'all all follow him. And also, while you're here, make sure you hit that like button if you have not, and then subscribe. We are zooming towards our next goal, and I think we're going to smash that on this show. So make sure you like and subscribe. But, yeah, just getting back to it, I wanted to ask you, Tate, if you don't mind, how did you get with Barstool? How did you get with Portnoy? How did that happen?
Yeah, so I was a teacher. I was a teacher and coach up in Pickerington, Ohio. I actually had I taught at the school where Jack Sawyer went.
Okay.
So I was teaching, and they did a thing called Barstool Idol, which was basically American Idol for Barstool, content creators. And I did well, but I didn't want to give up teaching and coaching. You can't really do both because, the content I'm making, you can't then be teaching 7th grade language arts. So I struck a deal. This was about 6 years ago with Dave. That I would blog. I would just write under a cartoon character, which is still my profile picture on Twitter. But I was blogging under an alias for about 5-6 years. And I really enjoyed it. But after about 5-6 years, an opportunity presented to me to move to Chicago. I work under Big Cat. Dave's obviously my boss, but Big Cat is the person who I report to and I talk to, more on a day-to-day basis than Dave. So I moved out to Chicago and I was able to create Ohio State content full time. So Barstool Idol, which then I worked for about 5 years part-time, and now I'm full-time just working out of Chicago.
That's dope, man. What you got for Tate, Nevada?
Well, yeah. No, well, first of all, when's your hard stop? If you got to go, we don't, because like we'd keep you on all night, you know what I'm saying, like that. But we don't. I don't want you sitting there going, man, when is B Moses Nevada going to let me off the show? I got to get out of here.
Let me say this. I'll make my apologies to the people waiting on me there because I'm enjoying this. Let's do another 15 minutes and we'll be good.
All right, there we go. Great. Well, yeah, my question on this whole thing is, how is it working? You know, obviously you've got. I mean, Barstool is so closely associated with Michigan. You're the Ohio State thing. How does that work for you? I mean, is that okay with you? How's that going?
Well, I'll say this. Two-part. One, it is a difficult part of the job, especially when we do things like we win the national championship and we sell our merch. Merch is a big part of, you know, how Barstool might make money. And I have to deal with it every single year, which is, okay, I might like that shirt or I might like that idea, but why would I buy merch
From Barstool
if it goes to the same company that is dealing with selling Bryce Underwood shirts for NIL deals? Yeah. And it's a valid concern. It's not like, don't get me wrong, I love working here and I absolutely appreciate the opportunity that Dave has given me. And he doesn't use the Ohio State Michigan against me in terms of business or a job. Like that doesn't affect his decision making in that way. I'm sure I get on his nerves tremendously with a lot of the things I do, just as he gets on my nerves for the lot of things that he does. But he is a good business person in that way. That doesn't affect him. It just does make my life harder when, you know, an Ohio State fan might message me and say, hey, you know, is this going to go to Bryce Underwood's NIL? I see your guys' point. So it's an interesting dynamic.
That it's funny, and we might have been one of the people that are like, "Don't buy stuff from Barstool." You're supporting the Michigan thing right there. That didn't make any sense. But now that we know you, Tate, now we're conflicted. We have this because we like you, so we got this conflict now. I'm just like this ball of emotion now. I don't know where to go.
I appreciate that. I'm not obviously not going to say don't buy from Barstool. I think we put out some pretty cool stuff, especially when we win the national championship. But it's a fair question that if I was in your guys' shoes, or especially if I was in someone else's Ohio State shoes, I would say, well, they're selling Underwood NIL shirts. So it's a fair point, and I think even Dave would understand the question. With that being said, though, I do want to say Barstool does give me a platform to do a lot of Ohio State stuff too, and that doesn't get shut down ever. So I do think that while I work for a Michigan man, the avenue and the outlet of Barstool does ultimately help me push some propaganda and some news out there that otherwise I wouldn't be able to.
That's fair.
Now, how underwhelming was the Big House when you were up there? Like again, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being Ohio Stadium, where did the Big House kind of fall? And how underwhelming was Underwood in person right there, where Joe Bowserman is like a 2. Where does Bryce Underwood? Where does Bryce Underwood? I mean, again, he did throw for 1 more yard than the Make-A-Wish kid did the year before. But the question is, how was it in person when you saw the magic there? Could you feel it from him?
Yeah, it was to answer your first question about the Big House. I was actually like no troll, no condescending. I was truly disappointed in how quickly they went back to that Walmart Wolverine identity that we all pick at them for. It is clear as day the difference when you're in Columbus, Ohio, and when you're in Ann Arbor. And it was even more clear as day to me when the game was not out of hand. Now, did we think it was? Yes, our defense was lights out. Bryce Underwood's still their quarterback. It was cold outside. But for them to leave as early as they did and truly go from like, this is the most important thing in the entire world is Michigan football to, not that big of a deal after the game. It actually is a little bit disappointing to me because I think we all eat, sleep, and breathe Ohio State football and this rivalry, and a loss would have crushed us. A loss would have crushed us there, and it didn't seem like their fan base had any fight in them. It really was that same Walmart Wolverine. We care when we're good. We don't care
Yeah.
When like a great example is they were talking about it being Ryan Day's first win against Michigan. Well, you guys really didn't know that Ryan Day beat the shit out of Michigan in his first year, and then you guys waved the white flag. And don't get me wrong, he'd be the first to say that he's had a little bit of a Michigan problem recently. But we were dealing with a fan base that didn't know there was football before COVID.
Right.
So and then on the Underwood side, I think it is bad news for us that Sharon is no longer the coach. I'm not saying Bryce Underwood is good. He clearly was not good this year, but he clearly has some physical traits and some sort of talent to make him a 5-star plus quarterback that can use his legs and can use his arms. And I am nervous that he was clearly not getting developed whatsoever. He was a bad quarterback this year. Now, if he goes to a program, I would love for him to leave. That'd be the funniest thing. But if someone comes in with a clue, he could absolutely improve from what he was this year.
Hold on, B, and I've got because I got the man here, so I know, and I know.
Oh, go ahead,
B,
do your thing.
I'm stepping all over you, and I feel so bad. But I got to ask you one last question. Then I'm gonna let B go. But it's like the cuck anthem there between the third quarter and the fourth quarter there. What is that? And secondly, can they continue singing that song? And they sing it with such fervor. They're so proud of that. Like they know all the words, and they do it. And they jump up and down. And they hold each other. Can they continue that in the future, or is that dead on arrival?
I'm actually upset with myself. You stole something I should have said earlier when I was talking about the embarrassment I had to be surrounded by these Walmart Wolverines that really didn't care after the loss. I took a video, and we've had an issue with, posting videos with music in the background. So I wasn't able to post the whole thing because I didn't want to get our company in trouble. I filmed the entire Mr. Brightside, and they were down 24-9 at the time. And you would have thought that they were at a concert where Mr. Brightside was being played. You would have thought that they were up 24-9. I was sitting by an old lady. She was a Michigan graduate. She was about 60 years old. And she looked at me and she goes, I've never been more embarrassed to be a Michigan graduate than right now, as you've got an entire student section and an entire stadium not realizing that we've scored off, an interception and a field goal. We got stuffed. We got field goal. And they were playing a horrific offensive game. They were getting beaten to death and just bleeding the clock. This Michigan man mantra is getting reversed, and we're just pulverizing them. And they said, all right, timeout, everyone. Let's sing our song together. And they put it up on the scoreboard. It was if you would have taken the score off the board, you would have thought that Michigan was winning 24-9, and the other team was going on a 12-minute drive.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I noticed that on TV, Tate, just seeing their glee. I'm just like, what are y'all doing right now? I wish you would have got footage of that lady saying that. That would have been gold if you would have got that. But I'll say this about the Michigan fans and the Walmart Wolverines.
Mm-hmm.
Tate, before the game, speaking to multiple Michigan fans, even on our show, we had a cat on our show. We had like a Friday, you were on it, the Friday Banter show.
It was great. Great idea.
It was very fun. Shout out to Dev for that idea. We got to keep doing that. And I'm not picking on just this Michigan fan because he was cool and I'm grateful he came on. But just Michigan fans in general were saying this, Tate. They were pointing to last year when we would ask them, what's your logic for being so confident that you're going to win this game this year? And they all kept just pointing back to last year, or Portnoy with his pressure. And you know what I'm saying? And basically hoping and praying for that same magic they had last year in the shoe. It wasn't X's and O's. It wasn't personnel. It was, if we can get that, then we got a chance. And so I'm not surprised that after, the same interception and then we start taking over, that they just withered away. Because they had nothing of substance to believe that they would actually win the game. And so I just wanted to say that because they really wasn't, their hearts weren't in it for real.
That's the Michigan fan base in a nutshell. There was, Marshall broke off the big run to start the game. big to hold him to a field goal. Sam throws a pick, hold him to another field goal. Yeah, the big house was absolutely rocking at that time. And I'm getting more, chirping from the guy next to me. There's people turning around, flags, all that stuff. Fine and well. But as soon as it went like that, it was time to head for the exit. And that's just that's their fan base in a nutshell.
Yeah, what you got about it?
I was going to say, I think a lot of them were heading to the Little Brown Jug to have the Paige Shivers gluten-free pizza. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Like, right?
Every once in a while, like something happens that you just can't believe this is real life. And when I call the menu,
that's one of them. Yeah.
How is that real?
Bro.
It's
they wilding up north. Wilding up north.
It'd be like a Saturday night skit that after this whole thing came out, being like, yeah, you should see this menu. That was actually the menu of the restaurant.
And people don't believe that, Tate. People think it's fake.
We had Funky Buckeye spam calling them all afternoon, trying to order the Paige Shivers gluten-free pizza. And they kept saying, it's not on there. Do you want the gluten-free pizza? He goes, no, I want the Paige Shivers gluten-free pizza. That actually happened. And it was hysterical. So, I was there for it, man. But yeah, the fact that she was on there with Tom Brady and Michael Phelps and, Charles Woodson and the Divers. I got impregnated by the coach gluten-free pizza. Like, what the heck? What the heck is that?
And obviously, yeah, it's a touchy subject, all that. I get it. But I just find me an Ohio State pizza place. Forget all what happened. That has the executive assistant or whatever her role was
right
on at Tommy's Pizza down the way. It makes no sense, and it just shows how weirdly funny part of this story is.
Yes, and how much of a simp Sharon Moore was and is. Let's just be honest. It's ridiculous. And so, I thought it was fake. Like when I first heard that, when Spiro said that, I thought he was just joking. Not joking. And then Funky, you are goated, sir, for those phone calls because listen, they deserve it, man. They deserve it. It's like, come on, how it's buffoonish. It's unbelievable. It's buffoonish. And like you said earlier, Tate, how much deeper does this go? How much more buffoonery are we going to discover?
I want one thing that kind of bothers me. I'm not saying that they hired their buddies to do the investigation, and I haven't read enough to know exactly who's doing it, but I'm getting a lot of tweets that some of these investigators are Michigan grads. I nominate Justin Spiro and Pablo Torre to be the ones to do this investigation that Michigan is running.
Well, it's the same group that did the first investigation that determined that there was no evidence of a relationship, and they literally said that they went and asked the two parties involved, and the two parties said, no, we're not involved. And so that was good enough for them. So, to your earlier point though, Tate, the chances if Sharon Moore had beaten, somehow found a way, pulled a rabbit out of his booty and somehow managed to win that game that you were at, and you're still walking back carrying third base from Ann Arbor, there's a 0% chance that this ever sees the light of day. Zero.
Yeah,
Zero.
I think that's not a hot take whatsoever. And the telltale sign is there's not a Michigan fan, fake fan, whatever you want to say. There's not one person who's upset that they don't have him as their coach anymore. They might not like that he was a scumbag or that it tarnished the Block M or whatever you want to say. But there is no one. I haven't seen one person yet that says, man, we lost a good coach. And that's why he's not your coach anymore, because this has clearly been happening for a long time. And if people like Spiro and then in turn myself or you guys or different talking heads, like everyone has come out and said, yeah, I heard that. Yeah, I heard that a long time ago. Michigan didn't hear it. But every other media person in college football, I know there's some dudes on ESPN and there's some people at Barstool that were talking about it well before it happened. So I'm genuinely shocked that it didn't make its way towards Michigan.
Absolutely. Hey, well, listen, Tate, want to respect your time. It's been about 15 minutes or so. Again, we could go crazy with you and just talk about a lot of stuff. Want to have you on here again, hopefully in the future. So last words before you bang out, and also repeat your social so people can go and follow you.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Hey, listen, if you guys are watching this right now, go like and subscribe. These dudes do a great job promoting Ohio State and also trashing the team up north. So I appreciate you guys. My handles are Barstool Tate, at Barstool Tate on Twitter, at Barstool Tate on Instagram, and I'm trying to grow my TikTok at Barstool Tate. Then final words is this, man. I was devastated to lose to Indiana because I wanted to win a Big Ten championship, and I also thought that meant the Heisman. With that being said, I'm more confident today than I was before that game that this team's going to win the national championship. So I look forward to listening to you guys along the way. Hoping we get a nice little run here with whether that be Miami and Texas A&M. I'm excited to face Georgia because I like shutting the SEC fans up.
Me too. Yeah.
And then, folks, I want to face Indiana again. I'm not sure they're going to be there, and they should talk their trash right now. But nothing I saw in that game shows me that we're not going to beat that team in the national championship.
Amen. Nevada, what you got?
It started out with a kiss. How did it end up like this? It was only a kiss. It was only a kiss.
I love it. All right, boys. Go Bucks. Thanks for having me on.
Yes,
Thanks,
sir.
Tate.
Appreciate you, man. All right, peace. Good stuff, man. Good stuff.
That guy's super entertaining. I'm telling you, like super entertaining. Like I've subscribed to all his stuff. I watch him now. Really smart guy. Really, this is a high IQ, very high functioning guy, but also very, very funny. Love his takes, and great job be getting him on the show, man. That was awesome. What a treat for me. So I appreciate that.
Absolutely. And again, shout out to Dev for the assist as well. Getting him on. So yeah, we're going to keep getting great guys and gals, whoever that is, on this show. We're going to unite and just bring in more super friends, y'all, more allies, more, you know what I'm saying? We're going to get you the best content. And this was dope. We got to have him back. So we do got a couple super chats we can dig into. John for eBay. Thanks for the $4.99. Chances these players return for another year. Downs, Reese, Tate, Claire, McDonald, Kenyatta. And I don't mean the Tate that can't bench the bar. So I will just straight up Downs, 0 chance. Reese, 0 chance. Tate, 0 chance. Claire, chance. Maybe a decent chance. Maybe a good chance. McDonald, 0 chance. Kenyatta, 0 chance. Those are my answers, Nevada. What you got?
I'll say Claire almost certainly is coming back, and I think Kenyatta. I think it's a non-zero probability that he comes back. I mean, I'm not sure how much greater than 0 it is, but it's not 0. I think he's a guy that with a big, he's kind of in the JT Tumalau, Jack Sawyer kind of spot right now. And with the right package, he could be back. But the other guys, wish him well, and we really enjoyed him and enjoy him. We'll enjoy watching him in the NFL. But I think Claire's a pretty prohibitive favorite to come back.
Yeah, they gone. The rest of them guys. But I'll say with Kenyatta, I agree with you on the JT and Jack, but I think he's right on the cusp. If he balls out in these playoffs, I think that could tip the scales. But if he's just solid, then a nice NIL package to say, hey, come back next year, another year development, get a little higher in the draft. I do think there's a chance he comes back. But them other guys, minus Claire, I think they're gonzo. So definitely agree. Dave Buckeye, thanks for the $9.99. Thanks for being a Scoop Ultra member. Interesting that Portnoy is wearing a Pats hat, which is a team led by a Buckeye. Yeah. Shout out to Trey Henderson, man, for just absolutely killing it. We sang his praises yesterday. Nevada reminded people that he's been a Henderson fan and he defended him. So did I. I'm not, I've been vehemently defending him from goofies as well on social media. But yeah, pretty funny. And it's good that he has to root for Henderson, who's killing it right now, Nevada.
Well, but what's interesting is that Vrabel, and there are very few people that I think have more respect for than Vrabel. I think Vrabel, genuinely tough guy, genuinely great player. Unquestioned that he's a great coach, been a great coach multiple spots. So the dude, he's a baller. However, it seemed to have taken him a long time to figure out that Trey Henderson was really good. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, like you look at Trey Henderson, like 3 carries, 5 carries, 3 carries. Like he didn't even use this guy. Trey Henderson now is the betting favorite to win Rookie of the Year, and he didn't even get played like the first 9 games of the season. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I mean, that just shows you how good Trey is. Trey has now had multiple games where he's now tied the record for the most over 50-yard touchdown runs by a rookie in the NFL. I mean, he's an absolute phenomenon. But Mike wouldn't play. It took multiple injuries to other guys for him to even see the field, and I'll never understand that because they drafted him pretty, second round for a running back, pretty high.
Yeah,
and I don't know why he was sitting on the bench, because I knew that when he got the chance to play, he was going to ball out, and sure enough, he did. So I think Trey's tremendous, and what a player, and what a great representative of Ohio State University for sure.
Yeah, that's a great point about Vrabel. And, respect to Vrabel, we love him, but that was definitely a miscue. Especially, I mean, look at the preseason. He was killing in the preseason. This is like, it's just, even if he wasn't getting 30 carries a game, how did he not get more touches early on? Just to get him the ball in space. Weird. Now it's just like, oh, I'm a genius. No, you're not, because he could be even further along if he would have played early. I absolutely agree with you on with that, Nevada. So anyway,
let me tell you, it was so bad. I drafted him in my fantasy league.
Yeah,
and I cut him.
Ooh,
I cut him. Because he wasn't playing, and I'm like, I don't know what he did, but Vrabel doesn't like him. He doesn't play, and I cut him. That's how bad it got for there, and now. He's so it's very, very frustrating. Very frustrating for my fantasy team too.
Hey, listen, Trey is a very spiritual guy. He was probably in his new home praying, and Jesus probably came down and tapped Vrabel on the shoulder like, "Hey, Bucko, play my son." And he was like, "Yes, Lord, yes, Lord." And now he's being blessed because he was obedient. But no, all jokes aside, man, shout out to Trey Henderson. Great kid, like you said yesterday. Nobody deserves this better. I pray for his health, that he stays healthy, because if he stays healthy, he's going to keep cooking, man. And so very proud of that young man. But anyway, any last words before we hop off here, Nevada?
No, just what a fun show. We got to get Tate back on at some point in the future. Obviously, we don't want to abuse it, because you don't want to be that house guest that's like, hey, come on back over, buddy. We can play Trivial Pursuit. And you're like, dude, I just came over last night. I really don't want to come over again.
Right.
But but in the future, sure. I love that guy. And like I said, if you're not following him, definitely follow him. And for you guys that are on the show, subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to us on YouTube. We're less than 100 away from 38,000. You can be the one that puts us over. All you can do is hit that button. Hit that button, put us over 38,000. Go to Apple Podcasts, subscribe as well. That's if you want to help the channel, that's how you can help the channel out. Subscribe to us on YouTube, subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, and put us over the top for 38,000, and then we shoot to 40. But over 38,000, largest Ohio State podcast in the world right here. Glad that you're a part of it, and we love you guys.
Definitely. And real quick, Dev, hit the chat. Is your show on the Scoop or is it on Buckeye Boys? I want to direct people to the right place, or is it on both? Let me know as you're answering. I wanted to answer your question real quick, Stilly. I have not, because I went to search for Blazing Saddles and I couldn't find it on any streaming services. So I'm still looking for Blazing. I got the DVD, but I don't have a DVD player anymore.
You still looking for Patton? You can't find Patton?
I'm watching that tonight.
Okay.
I got my popcorn ready. I got it set up. I will be watching Patton tonight, y'all.
Right.
So we'll be able to talk about it. You can review The Last Dragon. I can review Patton.
I'm memorizing all the musical numbers from the thing like that.
He said the Barry Gordy musical. He's like, you didn't tell me I was watching a Barry Gordy.
I watched a Barry Gordy. It's true.
Oh man. That's funny. I mean, but I didn't, in my mind, I wasn't thinking that, but I was like, yeah, it's kind of right. It's
kind of a musical, like doe, a deer, a female deer, Ray, a drop of golden sun. Yeah, like that.
Oh man, I'm gonna rewatch that too. But real quick,
people just break out into song. If people break out into song, it's a musical. It's a musical.
If they're just sitting there on the stoop like this, doom, 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 it's a musical. I
It's a
agree. That's
musical.
fine. Fair enough.
It's
Fair
a
enough.
musical. Yeah.
And listen, Dev is on both channels. He's on both channels. So after we bounce off here, make sure you go to his channel. He's got some good stuff as always. Listen, we're going to hop off. Great show. Appreciate you, Buckeye School family, Buckeye Nation. Like on your way out and subscribe on your way out. Peace and go Bucks.